Change your reaction for a clean slate. Welcome to day 1443 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And talking about for Supersize Your Business, a clean slate. Our ability to start anew, start afresh, start over, let ourselves off the hook for the times we're human and we don't behave in the ways that we are perfect and expect of ourselves, and just let that go and start fresh, realizing that every new day gives us an opportunity to start fresh. Every day above ground is an awesome day. I was attracted to that particular saying. One of the first motivational speakers I ever saw, probably in my early 20s, was, I want to say it was Les Brown, but I don't think it was Les Brown. Anyway, it was a new and up and coming motivational speaker, and one of the things he said, and it was even on his business card, because he gave me his business card, was every day above ground's a great day. Now, I'm sure he heard it from one of the other, gurus or motivational speakers or personal development people that taught him, but I still, for some reason, it was the first time I'd heard it, and it just stuck with me, and I never really understood why. I believed it. I think that if we take an optimistic approach, that each day we can get a little bit better and continually improve to become a better version of ourselves. But I didn't always live that, right? I didn't always believe that. There's been lots of times in my life, and maybe yours as well, where we just are going through the motions. We're doing what other people expect us to do. We're, I think that comes from being kids, depending on what our parents and our teachers and other people's expectations are of us, whether we choose to adopt those and go along with it or not. It's always our choice. A lot of times we don't know we even have a choice, right? I don't remember knowing as a kid, or really consciously understanding as a kid, that I had the ability to control my reactions and my response and choose different things. I thought I just had to do what I was told, right? To be a good daughter, to be a good sister, to be a good friend, I just had to do what I was told, or had to. And I was always really stubborn, so I find it's really interesting that I believed that. And in some aspects, I believed it for a long time. And then one time I decided that I was going to break the rules, and by breaking the rules, I got better results than when I was following the rules. And these weren't big rules. These were like editorial rules for my high school paper or something. And so sometimes how we learn, how we discover things, it's unique and special and different for each and every one of us. But it's based on our experiences, right? And the emotions that we attach to those experiences, whole in-depth things we could talk about. But that's not what we're thinking about today. We're talking about a clean slate. How do we know? And I don't even remember when I started to realize that I can just stop doing something that I've been doing forever. A lot of times we keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I think of my marriage, and I think I knew better, but I kept trying different things. And maybe it was because I was trying different things that I thought it would be all right. But I remember at some point thinking, I've tried a gazillion different things, and whatever made me think I was going to get my ex-husband to change. Who do I think I am that I would ever expect to be able to change anyone else? I didn't want him to change. I just wanted him to be different than he was. And people don't be different than they are, right? We live, and unless they choose to be different than they are in ways that serve us or work for us to be a couple. Getting a little diverted, but the point is, it's each and every one of our individual freedom, power, personal power, and responsibility to choose and do whatever we want and become who we want and show up in the world however we want to. And nobody else can decide that for us. Now, I don't want to talk about extreme examples where somebody puts you in prison if you don't do what you're told, or they threaten to kill your family or something. I mean, we're not talking those extreme situations, but normal people like me and you on an everyday basis, we forget how much personal power and freedom we have to control and impact our own lives. So I like now to think of every day above ground is an awesome day, but it's also a new opportunity to create what it is that I want in my life, in the world, in the lives of the people I love and care about. It's a clean slate. So I like the clean slate analogy. I like the fresh start analogy. I like to think that, my whole story isn't written. what I've done in the past, the experiences I've had in the past are just that. They're experiences I've had, and they form what I choose to do or not do now, but they aren't the be all and end all. I could wake up tomorrow and decide I am moving to a warm climate, and that's where I'm going to live and work and do my thing from now on. Even though I've lived in Wisconsin the majority of my life, I could decide tomorrow I'm out of here. Okay, it's been like frigid weather. It's been well below zero. I think it was 14 below yesterday morning. Saturday it was 17 below when I woke up. I mean, it's like, and we're talking Fahrenheit degrees, right? It's cold. And so I could do that, but that would be a clean slate, right? To just up and go would be a clean slate. Now, am I going to do that? No, my family's all here. My kids and my grandkids, so I don't see myself doing that, but it's possible. And I always keep the possibilities for me open, right? We want to leave and realize that there's infinite possibilities and opportunities for each and every one of us all the time, even though it doesn't always feel like it. So often, especially during the last couple of years, right? Since COVID hit, March, and I was thinking about this today for our annual challenge. We're doing an annual challenge, BU 365-day challenge. Why? Because the most important thing that each and every one of us can do is be ourselves and be a continually improving version of ourselves, and just living our life by setting the example for other people. And the more we are truly ourselves, taking off the masks and veils, no filters today, the more we give other people permission to do the same thing, right? That's, I think, why I have a little bit of a icky feeling about artificial intelligence. And my son was telling me the other day that they're going to create, instead of being influencers, they'll technologically just create influencers. Think Betty Crocker. Betty Crocker was never a real person. She was a made up, not artificial intelligence, but like she was just a made up character, a made up perfect mom for the brand, the Betty Crocker brand. And they're talking, my son was saying that that's what they're going to do going forward. So you won't have to pay a bunch of influencers and people that are trying to be important and influence other people. They'll create fictitious artificial intelligence people to represent brands and things. And so they'll have the perfect athlete, the perfect mom, the perfect everything. And that will be the influencer for brands going forward. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think it's bad enough when people are faking that they represent something. So I think it's almost even worse when we create fake people to represent that, or fake that they're representing something or they believe in something. So I think it's a whole nother level of influence manipulation. Another word for influence is manipulation. So that's why it's so important that each and every one of us always think for ourselves. It's so easy to forget that we're always being influenced by everything around us all the time. All the stimuli, all the things that happen around us that we're experiencing with any and all of our senses, all of that has an impact on us. I realized, I was thinking the other day that my thoughts were being, and I didn't believe I was, but even I, who believes that I think for myself, unlike everybody else, we think for ourselves, but we're not actually 100%. I think we should create a quiz that measures how well we think for ourselves. That would be, I just thought of that. That would be a great quiz to see, how much are you thinking for yourself? How independent a thinker are you? Because I like to think I am, and then I'll catch myself and realize how much I'm truly influenced by things just like everybody else. Now, I don't watch the media. I don't follow the news, and especially around COVID and things like that. Yet, every morning when I wake up and have the sniffles or blow my nose, and it's super dry here in the house and in Wisconsin, or get a bloody nose, my brain has been programmed on my subconscious level, because I consciously haven't been doing it, to think, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have COVID. And I'm like, all right, I do everything to protect myself that I possibly can. I'm pretty much isolated from other people. So I'm like, how on earth could I possibly have COVID? And it irritates me that that thought ever even pops into my head or my mind. I might have to do some erasing work on that and figure out how I can remove that from my response. It's like when I realized that the voice in my head wasn't my own, it was my ex-husband's. I remember how horrified I was by that. I woke up one morning and I realized, even though we were divorced, his voice was still in my head. And the same is true, every once in a while we'll have an epiphany or we'll realize, well, that thought doesn't even belong to me. Why do I believe that when I honestly don't believe that? I don't believe that I have a very high chance of getting COVID at all, much less every time I have a sniffle or a cold or any one of the possible symptoms that have been associated with COVID, that's my go-to response. Well, it's our go-to response because everyone around us, all the news media stations, everything has convinced us to be afraid of each other, that we're going to give each other COVID. Give me a break. So I catch myself thinking things like that from a subconscious level that sneak up into my conscious, and I'm like, no, stop. Not going to feel that way. Not going to think that. Not going to believe that. But I have to consciously stop those thoughts and behaviors and beliefs from sneaking into my life. I mean, wish we could create a bubble of protection around ourselves, or a field, like a little force field, that we'd only let in the things we want and the rest would just bounce off and we wouldn't have to worry about it. Yet I don't know how to do that. If anybody knows, hit me up. Otherwise, that's what I'm working on. Still working on the annual challenge, just mapping out, a topic a day so that I've got something every day to talk about. Like I said, it's going to take me at least through the weekend to get that just mapped out and ready to go. 365 days is a lot. I don't have a problem doing it. Done it, dozens of times before, but I usually have some kind of a guide, something I use. One year I just used cards, and I randomly grabbed a card. Another time I was with a group, and our group's job was just to go online every day and do a live video. And it could be about anything. So whatever I was thinking, I just got on and started talking about that, which is really interesting. I'm hoping that none of those were saved or recorded from several years ago. And then the other challenge is the last 4 years I've used a little journal book to guide me. Well, now this year I am creating my own. I'm doing my own. And so I decided I was going to just wing it. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I have to have a little bit of structure. So I'm creating just an outline, not details at all, just an outline of what I want to talk about each day. And I'm just writing it on an actual Gerton's calendar I got from my sister for Christmas. It's just a calendar, regular, 12-month calendar. So you only have like a 1.5 inch square for each. Oh, it's more than that. It's probably a 2 by, it's not maybe it's a 2 by 2, I don't know, square on a calendar, right? That that's a wall calendar, not a big wall calendar, just a normal size. I'll show it one of these days. All right, that's all I've got. If I can help you in any way with your online or offline businesses, hit me up. Remember, I've got lots of experience. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Bye.